Hello and welcome to another Murders at Karlov Manor draft. And as you can see, rankings have reset sadly. So we finished the season somewhere in the 20s in Mythic, and this month I'm going to try to shoot for better and try to end at least in the top 10, of course, going for rank 1. We did some games yesterday after the reset to climb from Plat 4 to Plat 1, but that's where we are. Let's get straight into drafting and try to get into Diamond. Hopefully we can get into Diamond after this draft. Before this draft fires, I do want to say, if you wanted to support this channel in other ways, I did launch my Patreon channel. Shout out to all the patrons currently subscribed. The description is in, the link rather, is in the description below. Please come check it out if you want. We have a Discord channel where we talk about all things limited, and then you'll also have access to my videos completely ad-free. So there are several perks. Definitely check it out if you are interested. All right, let's go into this pack. Let's go into this draft, and let's go take this Trostani. Now, Unyielding Gatekeeper is also a good rare. Not on my watch is decent. It's good if you're not super aggressive. Like if I'm a red-white aggro deck with a bunch of 1-drops and I'm trying to beat people down, and I'm putting pressure on my opponent, it's not the type of card that I want. But there are definitely decks that want this card. But of course, we're just going to take Trostani. This is one of the best rares in the set. It's a little hard to cast, but for a reason, because this thing is an absolute powerhouse when it's in play. So hopefully we can end up being green-white here. That's the only thing to be able to play this card. And we can follow that up with a Buried in the Garden. Okay, so that's a great start. Rare missing out of this pack. Gleaming Geardrake is also phenomenal uncommon. There's a Sumala Sentry and a Bite Down on Crime. All great cards that I would want in my green-white deck, but none of those cards tops Buried in the Garden. Just a fantastic removal / ramp spell. Gives us some flexibility too if we want to splash. So let's go take that. And I mean, I'm loving this Selesnya start here. Trostani into Buried in the Garden. We're going to open a Tolsmir in pack 2. And we're going to get an Archdruid's Charm to search for them in pack 3. That's my prediction. All right, and now third pick. Ooh, that's another Gleaming Geardrake. So we are passing a very sweet blue-red start. Being the person getting past double Gleaming Geardrake is a really nice place to be. But of course, with our start, I'm going to take Novice Inspector here. I do love Get a Leg Up, and On the Job is also fine in green-white decks, but on Novice Inspector is just so hard to replace. And I think Get a Leg Up, while good, there's a lot, especially when you're green and white, there's a lot of combat tricks you have access to that are a little bit worse, whereas there's really nothing that you can get that can compare to a creature like Novice Inspector that you can get in your green-white decks. Here, we're going to take Bite Down on Crime here. I do like Crowd Control Warden as just a nice large beater. The green-white decks tend to have a lot of creatures in play. You're going to take cards like Inside Source and Dogwalker as well. So I do like this as a nice top-end threat. And on turn 5, when you play this, it's often a 6/6 or a 7/7. But I do prefer, at the end of the day, it's still just a large creature. I prefer the interaction in Bite Down on Crime. And so our green-white deck is setting up pretty nicely. We have great 1-drop, Trostani as well, and then a Bite Down and a Buried in the Garden here. So decent interaction. And man, we should have been blue-red. Oh my gosh. Double Gleaming Geardrake and then Maverick Thopterus, which I believe is the best uncommon in the set. I know it's a bonus sheet card or whatever, but I believe it's the best uncommon in the set. But man, it is unfortunate that we have to pass this. It is far too late for us to make this swap. So we just go, hello, person that we're passing to. You're in blue-red. Please give us all the good green and white cards in pack 2. I'm going to take an On the Job here. I think I don't mind playing a card like Sanitation Automaton in my green-white decks, but I do like picking up the first copy of On the Job in my white decks. Now here, our spell to creature ratio, we have 3 spells to 2 creatures right now. And I feel like when we pick up On the Job and with Trostani, we want to be a little more aggressive. We do have 2 4-mana removal spells already. So I think Bite Down on Crime is a better card, but I'm now going to look to be responsible here and take the solid 2-drop to go in my white-green deck in the Market Watch Phantom. And I'm going to take another Market Watch Phantom and pass these other combat tricks. And like I said before, when you're playing green and white, You're going to have access to Auspicious Arrival, Fanatical Strength, On the Job, Airtight Alibi, Get a Leg Up. You can play like 3 or 4 of those and you'll be fine. But what do you need to cast those combat tricks? Creatures. So let's pick up those Market Watch Phantoms here. Gonna take a Case File Auditor, but this pack is pretty weak. If we somehow end up in a deck that happens to have like 6 enchantments, I mean, it needs to be a really high number, then I could consider playing this. Let's say we have the white case, the green case, we pick up 2 makeshift bindings, then sure, I'll play it. But just for a Buried in the Garden, the 1/4 body simply just isn't good enough to play in your decks. This feels like it could be a Rubble Belt Maverick deck. We have an On the Job. We're looking to be kind of aggressive. So I don't mind playing I don't like playing too many of this card, but I don't mind the first copy of Rubble Belt Maverick if I'm looking to be slightly aggressively slanted or looking to collect a lot of evidence in my black-green, maybe Insidious Roots chalk outline deck. And there you go. Wow, this tabled! Just nobody is interested in being blue-red. Do you think the other one's going to table? No, probably not, because somebody took the Thopterist, right? I don't know. Anyways, I'm taking Bite Down on Crime over V2 Ghazi Inspector. Generally, if you look at the way this deck is being built out, V2 Ghazi Inspector is not the type of 2-drop that you want, and we tabled the Get a Leg Up! We almost took this last time! Okay, this deck is going... This draft is going really, really well. We have Premium 1, Trostani, couple Grade 2s, 3 removal spells, and the best combat trick in the set in Get a Leg Up. So really happy about this. So would really like to pick up a pack with a creature. There's no creature here. I don't really care about a second copy of On the Job. I don't care about splashing in a deck like this. I'm just going to take Granite Witness. We just aren't seeing a bunch of green and white creatures. So I'm going to take this. I typically have put less weight on the face down creatures that have hybrid costs of colors that you can't cast, but Granite Witness is actually pretty darn good. Even if it's a little bit difficult, the double white, if you ever flip it up, especially in this type of deck that's aggressively slanted, it can go a really, really long way in helping you win racing situations. Also, it's an evasive creature. Gives you a little bit of reach. And now we have the Satchel. I'm just still looking at my... Look, our green-white deck is fine. We need to stop being upset about what could have been with all these cards. Here, I'm going to take Karlov Watchdog over Seasoned Consultant. My evaluation on this has actually gone down a little bit. It's not quite as good. I think it's definitely better in red-white, where you're able to generate more tokens because you have access to a person of interest along with Inside Source. But the Karlov Watchdog... I've just been very, very impressed with this card in general. So it's a happy addition to my deck. It's a nice way it kind of acts as a mini On the Job while just being a permanent that's in play. So this card has done a lot of work for me. There have been a lot of instances too where I just don't even attack with the Watchdog. I just play it and then I just attack with everything else and it puts my opponent in a bind. Okay, so this is interesting. We have the option between a Killer Among Us and Novice Inspector. And you don't see me pass a lot of Novice Inspectors, but this deck looks like a perfect Killer Among Us deck. We have an On the Job. We have a Karlov Watchdog. We have a Get a Leg Up. It's the perfect card for the top end of our mana curve. It always hurts passing Novice Inspector, but this seems like an incredible Killer Among Us deck. So this is the exception that we will make for our deck. Picking up Bite Down on Crime number 3. I do not mind Escape Tunnel, but I do love me a Bite Down on Crime. Think it's just an excellent, excellent creature. But we're now already on 6 spells. So really just if it comes down to another Bite Down on Crime or any other creature, I'm just going to be taking creatures here. But this Bite Down on Crime, there was just no creature for us to take, really. And now, do we have a creature? Oh my... I mean, I'm just literally not seeing a green or white creature. I don't think I want Absolving Lamassu in this deck. Just a 5-mana 4/3. This feels like it could be a good case of the Trampled Garden deck. But that's only if we end up with enough creatures here to attack with. Hedge Whisperer is just not a thing that I want to do here. I'm not, I don't put expensive things in my graveyard. I guess it's a 1-drop, and I have enough tricks. So I'll take it, but I'm not super happy about it. Okay. Here I'll take a Nervous Gardener. It's a 2-drop. It's a 2-drop. Now, in this deck in particular, it's not super strong because getting that extra land isn't that great for us. But I'm going to take Vengeful Creeper here over Fanatical Strength. But it's still just a 2-drop that, there are instances, look, we have a Nervous Gardener and a Buried in the Garden. There is a world where we could potentially splash for a 3rd color. Here we'll take a Defenestrated Phantom. Hey, look, it's a creature. I'm going to take it because it's a creature. I don't really think I need to splash here, so I'm just going to take another... I'm going to take either the Inspector or the Crocodile. I think I'm just going to take a Crocodile here. Like I said, I don't think Vitu-Ghazi Inspector is especially good in this type of deck, so I'd rather just have another face-down card here that I can play. But it's unlikely that if our deck ends up playing out the way that we want, it's unlikely that we want either the Phantom or the Crocodile in our deck, to be honest. Here we're going to take Inside Source, perfect creature for this deck, over Nervous Gardener or the Kellen. Not going to be tempted by the Kellen. Inside Source is absolutely perfect for this deck. We're trying to go wide. We have Karlov Watchdog. We have On the Job. So really, really happy picking this card up. Maybe we should have taken the Auspicious Arrival. I just don't see a world where I play this Hedge Whisperer. It's better when you have like Topiary Panthers and stuff. But this deck is just looking to curve out. And now we have that's a Novice Inspector. Gonna take it over Fuss Bother. Like I said, we're prioritizing creatures over just about anything, and super happy about the 2nd copy of Novice Inspector for this deck. And now we have, Seasoned Consult. Oh, that's a Dog Walker. That's another Detective Satchel. What could have been? I'm going to take the Dog Walker here. I think this card is just going to be premium in this deck. We're looking to go wide. This makes a bunch of tokens. I do like 2-drops, but I think the Dog Walker is just a cut above. So we're just going to take that there. And now what do we have? This deck doesn't care about Topiary Panther. Shock, don't care about that. Don't really care about Commercial District either. So it's really a choice between the Museum Night Watch or the Haas the Vigilante. And I think I'm just going to go for the Night Watch. Just another solid face-down creature. It trades into something else, and that allows us to just keep putting pressure on. Oh my gosh. So I need to filter out all the blue-red cards, so I don't feel bad about just the best blue-red deck ever. It's okay, though. We're also getting... I think the person passing to us is like... I don't know. I can't even get... black something? Black and something? It's okay, though. We just took Inside Source. We're happy about that. Wow, this is a good pack, too. Don't care about the Panther. We have enough 3s now where I don't care about Vengeful Creeper, so I'm just going to take the Eavesdropper here as a solid 4-mana option. And 1, 2, 3, 4 face-down creatures. We need 2s. Yeah, I'll take the Tipster here. I'll take the Tipster over the Eavesdropper. We're kind of light on 2-mana cards. This is a little bit worse in this deck, but I think it's still going to be totally fine. Ooh, and I do like Crowd Control Warden in this deck, so happy about that. So now we have to actually figure out cuts for this deck. It might be the Maverick. And do we have any other face-down? No, I don't really care about these face-down cards. Oh, Nervous Gardener table too. Okay, this is going really, really well. We're getting a lot of great cards late. Good number of creatures here. Several go-wide cards in Inside Source, Dog Walker, Killer Among Us. And then we have On the Job and Karlov Watchdog to help when we try to go wide. And then Case of the Trampled Garden. I think this feels like a pretty good Case of the Trampled Garden deck too. Ooh, also Nervous Gardener is a face-down card too. I forgot about that for the Tunnel Tipster. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards that are face-down. So yeah, I think the Tipster definitely warrants a slot here. Okay, this is going to be not the easiest cuts, I will say. Is this a 16-lander, maybe? I always ask that question, but the answer is usually you should play 17. But I'm kind of greedy, so here we are. There's also a Rubble Belt Maverick that I might want to play. Okay, I mean, if I want to get really aggressive, I can just cut like some of these more... These are the face down creatures that are not great. We can probably play one of them. And with double Novice Inspector, Rubble Belt Maverick, double Gardener, Tipster, maybe we can play 16. Or we can just add, let's see, this is double white to flip over. This is, it's actually interesting which land we actually choose to get. And we do want to play a bunch of things early for the Karlov Watchdog because, and we have Get a Leg Up in case of the Trampled Garden. So maybe the Rubble Belt Maverick's good enough here. And yeah, we'll go ahead and play the Granite Witness. We'll do that. Let's run this. Our curve isn't super high. So I think this is going to be okay. And I think the Novice Inspectors and the Mavericks can help smooth out our draws. We have a Tipster and then also double Gardener and Buried in the Garden. Buried doesn't really count. All right, well, let's see if our theory pans out here. We have the Rubble Belt Maverick. We'll bottom any forests, but if we can find a plains, we'll keep. I'll keep one plains, just so we can play the Inspector next turn. Let's attack with the Maverick and play Novice Inspector. Then next turn we can play, I suppose, Inside Source. Depending on what they do. Yeah, do we want Inside Source or just face down Nervous Gardener? Let's just play to the board a little bit more. Would like to draw a plains for On the Job. That would just be completely ridiculous. Another face down card from the opponent where we get a free attack for 2 here. So we'll go ahead and do that. If they want to trade a face down card for this, that's completely fine. We still have something left over. And then we'll go face down Nervous Gardener and then just go ahead and get a plains. And then next turn we get to just play On the Job, right? Like that is totally an option here. And even if it doesn't kill them, I mean, all their face down cards are going to be done for, so it should be great. But we will see what they play. 3 black, face down card. Okay, you know what this tells me? I mean, it could be a lot of different things, but it feels like Granite Witness. It could also be Gadget Technician, right? I mean, I don't need to go for the On the Job here, and they're also representing potentially a counterspell. So let's see what they do. If they tap a creature, if they don't tap a creature down, I'm just going to attack with the 2/2/2s, and then I'm just going to play more creatures. And this makes it less obvious that I have On the Job for a later turn. I think it's a Gadget Technician. Okay. Then we'll play Market Watch Phantom and a Tunnel Tipster. And we still have a great board here. We traded a creature, but we added 2 more to the battlefield. Ooh, and they played Massacre Girl. Okay. That is definitely very good, and I am definitely interested in killing it with Bite Down on Crime. And targeting my Nervous Gardener, I guess. Now let's attack with our 2 power creatures. Like anytime I can trade a 2-drop for their 3 mana face down card, I'm pretty happy. They have one black up. I guess they could have Toxin Analysis. And I can bite down the face down card, but I'm just going to draw a card here, see if there's a land I can hit maybe. Nope. Ooh, Case of the Trampled Garden is also very interesting on this board. Unscrupulous Agent, interesting. That's really interesting. Huh. What do I go with here? I mean, On the Job seems incredible. It might just be the Case. It might just be the Case. I just feel like this bite down is going to be pretty good. It's a 2 mana kill a creature, right? It's 2 mana kill a creature. Oh my gosh, and we drew Trostani. But to be completely honest, this is a very clear attack with everything On the Job. They're going to lose both their 1/1s for free. These two are going to trade. And then they're going to take... I guess they can take some of this. But... I mean, they're at 1 life. And we still have Bite Down on Crime here. We can also play this Trostani. It gives double strike. I mean, it does a lot. They're at 1 life. They have 1 card in hand. I can give stuff Death Touch or double strike. Yeah. I mean, I was going to save the bite down. There were a lot of different lines we could have taken here, but man, doesn't our deck just seem so strong? At least from that draw. I was just like, oh, this is looking great. Oh, wow, this is also a great draw. Oh, but this is also a really good draw. Okay, what do we have? I mean, we have a 2-drop. This isn't the most exciting hand. We have a bunch of tricks. You know what's going to save it, though? Rubble Belt off the top. Okay, that was not a Rubble Belt off the top. This deck has tons of cheap things to do. I probably won't play this Gardener turn 2. I need lands pretty badly. I mean, kept the 2-lander on the draw. But we are falling behind. All right, let's find a land. Yeah, the Fester Leech, they milled... Wow, they have a pretty good deck there. Prof Eidetic Memory. At least we didn't miss a land drop. Extract the Confession would be annoying. And they have it. Okay, so another land would be great. Just so I can play Eavesdropper and not feel so bad. Okay. Well, okay. Look, if they get the draw of just creature, kill everything every turn, while we stumble a little bit, yes, we will lose. Okay. Playing Eavesdropper. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the... Yep, okay. That's another removal spell. Okay. Hey, sometimes you get tempoed out. Sometimes you get tempoed out. Perhaps that hand was a mulligan. It definitely could have been. If we play a Killer Among Us, that doesn't matter. We can bite down on crime, but we don't have another play. I can draw Novice Inspector, I guess. Okay. All right, we're dead. All right. Well, and it was not only was it a threat, it was a creature that like kills my creature and also deals damage to me. So that was definitely just a situation of being on the draw and our opponent having like a really smooth draw, and we stumbled a little bit. Okay. Definitely a great hand. Okay. Novice Inspector. I mean, if we draw another land, I can just run out the Gardener on turn 2. We'll see. Yeah, just to keep pace with what they have. I didn't draw land. Yeah, I'm just going to play another Inspector. I'm pretty interested in this double block. I don't think they're going to attack us, though. Okay, now we'll face down the Gardener. No attacks. Next turn, we can go fetch a Plains and then face down the Dogwalker. Sanguine Savior. Okay. Oh, I love that line for us, at least. Yeah, I absolutely love that for us. I wonder if I just Watchdog here. And just beat down. It's kind of hard to outrace the Sanguine Savior, though, and I feel like I don't want to miss a land drop for Killer Among Us. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get this Plains now. Then we can play a face down card. And no attacks. Because I think if we can go Killer Among Us into Watchdog, that's just a ton of pressure. They have 5 mana with 3 cards in hand. Okay. Face down card. I'm a little bit concerned about this Watchdog just because they have a bunch of mana up. They can just get in for a ton. Not get in for a ton, rather. They can blow us out with a removal spell. But I guess they would blow us out with a removal spell anyway because of Killer Among Us. So let's just play it. Maybe we should keep some stuff back? They're at 26. I mean, we can't go too crazy, right? Maybe we can keep 2 creatures back to block. Oh, why did I do that? I thought they already blocked. I'm an idiot. I mean, yeah, that was dumb. All right, so I try to play a little bit of offense and defense there. We'll see if that ends up panning out for us. Okay. All right. So they're going to race us with those. Okay, never mind. We're just attacking with everything. We are going to town. That's a 2/2. Let's put a counter here and a counter here. Sure. Let's flip this up. All right, if they have Krenko doesn't do it. Yeah, they should just be dead here. Okay. We had quite the beatdown hand there. Just go wide. That's all you got to do. Just get really wide. Like just this wide. And we have Trostani and lands to cast it. Can't mulligan this one. Ooh, I almost played that Plains. You know, I'm just kind of looking for some lands here. Or some removal. Let's, ooh, Buried is really good. I don't think I need the Eavesdropper, though. Yeah, I'll draw the Buried. I mean, the Eavesdropper is a fine card, definitely, but I would rather increase my chances of making sure I hit a land drop next turn. But, like, next turn, do I play Trostani? I don't know. Okay, so we drew a land, which is great. That thing has reach. So what I want to do, actually, is just attack with Market Watch Phantom. And then represent a combat trick. If they want to block, that's fine. Okay. And then we'll play this face down. I would be shocked if they have a counterspell, like Crawl Whipcracker into Reasonable Doubt seems unreasonable. And all right, they're playing a sweet multicolored deck. They're playing a sweet multicolored deck. I mean, I'm not really in a position to play around anything. I'm just jamming. If I had another creature to play, I would consider playing it. They could have a Coerce to kill here on Trostani. Okay, they have Buried in the Garden. So the nice thing here is we have Buried. We can bury the berry. We can bury the berry. Let's go ahead and go fetch a Plains here. We have a lot of double white flip up type cards. We can bury the berry or just play Killer Among Us. I'm going to just play Killer Among Us. Just pick a different creature every time. It's possible we just want to bury, like, if they just play some large monster, it's possible we just want to bury that. Okay, well, we can't bury that one. That card is completely broken. All right, so they've got some power here. They've got some power. They've got some power. But I can give the creature Death Touch, right? Yeah, okay. So let's do this. Let me see. Okay. So let's bury, target this. Let's bury or bury. And then we now have Trostani in play. And then we can attack with everything. This doesn't give indestructible or anything, so. All right, what you got? One good bomb deserves another. Is it Merfolk? Okay, Merfolk. Might as well. I mean, this gets in for a gazillion damage. So they go to 1. Yep, they go to 1. So I don't know that Ezram alone will be enough here. Even if they kill Trostani. I guess if they kill Trostani, it's enough. Okay. Well, we try to get in for as much damage as we could. All right, so let's do some math here, okay? I can't tap down the Ezreal. They can sack an artifact to give it hexproof and then give it lifelink. So effectively, they're at 6 life, okay? If they block my 4/4 Merfolk, they go up to 6, and then they take 5 and they stay at 1. And all that we effectively did was trade a clue for a 4/4. So not something I'm interested in. So I think we just play everything. And if they have a Wrath, they have a Wrath. That seems to be what I want to do, because then we have lethal. All right. We'll attack next turn. Next turn. We are going, once again, extra wide. Don't wrath me, friend. No wrath. No wrath. No wrath. Oh no, they're drawing cards. No wrath. No wrath. Yes! Alright. We defeated Ezreal. We defeated Ezreal. No problem. Did I have fun? I did. I defeated Ezreal. Of course I had fun. Alright, Pete, you're famous. Ooh, this is a nice hand. Turn 1 Inspector into turn 2 Tunnel Tipster and Loxodon Eavesdropper on turn 3. We've got an on the job. But no second white source. Well, we'll get there eventually. When we need to, we'll get there. Playing against a Boros deck. They got turn 2 Market Watch Phantom. We're just going to jam Loxodon Eavesdropper here. Try to stay up to keep pace with what they're doing. So next turn, I have the option of playing a 7/7 Crowd Control Warden face up, or I can play it face down and grow my Tipster as well. Okay, they're using Makeshift Binding on the Eavesdropper, and then they can still get in for 2, so that's quite good. I do want to try to crack these clues, but also just playing a 6/6 seems pretty good here. So I think I'm just going to do that. The thing is, the way I look at it is that Tipster, I'm going to be using it for mana over the next few turns anyways, and I'd rather just have the bigger body and make it so that I can at least try to race their creatures. This Phantom is going to get in, but I mean, I'm attacking for 6, right? That's a big attack. So I do need to find... some nice creatures. I think I'm going to crack this clue. See if we can find a play. Ooh, that is a play, but we can't cast it this turn. We cannot cast it this turn. I can crack this other clue and just try to find another thing. I kind of want to save on the job for a Killer Among Us, but I can use it to have my Novice Inspector kill their 2/2. That's still probably good, to be honest. All right. And then let's go ahead and crack a clue. See if we can find a 2-drop. Okay. We found a Trostani. We're going to take a lot of damage this turn. Now, next turn, I do have a potential lethal attack. So it depends on what they do. But I do have a potential lethal attack if they don't block. Or if I do have a potential lethal attack if they don't block. I have access to 7 mana next turn, so I can't play Killer Among Us plus Trostani. They also need to be concerned about the amount of damage that they can take. I have this Trostani too, and I gotta just make sure I read this. I can give something Vigilance as well. So just the Crowd Control Warden can potentially threaten lethal. The crowd control warden can do up to 12 damage. All right, we're at 10 life, so got to be a little bit careful. A Killer Among Us does a lot of work, right? Because we get to play kind of offense and defense. Face down card. Huh, so they attack first. So that's also a thing to keep track of. The fact that they attack. I feel like it's really likely that they have a card like On the Job. So we just need to be mindful of that. Okay. So the question is Killer Among Us or Trostani the better line? I think it's a Killer Among Us. Yeah, I think it's definitely a Killer Among Us here. It just gives us way more creatures to block with. And we just need to make sure that we block in a way where we don't die to we don't die to On the Job. That's all. Because they're just going to attack with everything. So can I block 4 creatures and live? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can. So I want to keep the Goblin alive and block everything else. I mean, I guess I can block the Market Watch Phantom over the dog as well. Okay, so this is a more reasonable attack. And let's try to make reasonable blocks. I mean, I can just block like this. Let me think. If I just block the Market Watch Phantom, take 4, then I attack with everything. They block the Crowd Control Warden and this. No. Let's make some blocks where we get to actually kill creatures. So we got rid of the evasive creatures, which is really nice. We have the mana to cast Trostani and On the Job next turn. They're looking at Crowd Control Warden. How are you going to kill Crowd Control Warden? Torch the Witness. Wow. Okay. I see. All right, so we definitely don't have a lethal attack anymore. Although if I play Trostani, they actually have to block my Goblin. Or you know what? They have to block both. Right? Because they don't know which one's the killer. So yeah, we play Trostani and attack with both. Because I can give double strike to the unblocked creature. Okay. And I'm just going to play Insight Source here and pump my my Goblin. I could give this double strike, but that seems worse than playing Insight Source. So let's do that. I could have given this Vigilance, but I don't think I'm in danger of dying here based on my board. They could have another... If they have another removal spell for Trostani, then yeah, that does change things. But they have an excellent red-white deck with Dogwalker, Makeshift Binding, Torch the Witness, Person of Interest, Market Watch Phantom, just all great Boros cards. There's a reason why they're famous. All right, what is this? Krenko, okay. Now I can block with Trostani. Obviously I get blown out by a combat trick. They can crack their clue to make Krenko into a 4/4 and make a 2/2 haster. There's a wide variety of tricks that they can have here. Now they can attack and still crack a clue and make a 1/1 for 3 mana. And also just the question is what kind of combat trick do they have? If it's the chase is on, then that's pretty bad for us. Ooh, it's nothing. Okay. This is very close. This is very, very close. Alrighty. Well, I don't think we have a lethal attack here. Okay. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to give both of these creatures vigilance. And then I'm going to attack with both. And then I can still Dogwalker and flip it up to make tokens. They're going to have to block because I have Double Strike. I can also give Double Strike Death Touch, so they really don't have profitable blocks here. So a lot of different variations here. I have On the Job. I have Double Strike Death Touch. All options. We'll see what they do. They can block with Krenko, crack the clue. They can also just try to crack this clue and make a chump blocker. The thing is, if it's a situation where they're chump blocking, then we are looking great, right? Because we can just kill a couple of creatures, make our board even wider with this Dogwalker, and not worry about anything. And with this block, I'm just not doing anything. Right? I don't have to do anything if they block like this. And yeah, if they do this, then I simply just actually hold on. At that point, is it better to just cast On the Job? Right? Because if I just cast On the Job, then I can save my 4/4 Goblin. And then they have a 2/2/2s in play, and I have a Trostani and my 4/4 still. Yeah, let's just do that. So now they have 2/2/2s in play. We still have our 4/4s. We have a clue. We still have Dogwalker. Trostani makes things impossible. All right. Trostani is a heck of a Magic card. Okay, 1 win away to break into Diamond. Let's get that Diamond. 4-1. 4-1. Let's take a look at our opener. This hand looks a little bit too slow. I'm going to mulligan that one. This I will keep. And I will bottom... It's actually interesting. I have a few options. I think I will bottom the Phantom. Because I have a 2-drop already. I think that's the one I think is going to be a little bit worse on the draw. Especially because my follow-up play to that would maybe be a Karlov Watchdog. So I value the mana from the Tunnel Tipster a little bit more. They're looking to beat us down. Tunnel Tipster. Red Herring is going to get us for a little bit. It's going to get us for at least 2 damage. Next turn, we can play the Nervous Gardener face down. Oh, God. This card just feels so savage every time my opponents play it. All right. It didn't matter which 2-drop we kept, I guess. They would have both died. Get a Leg Up was a decent draw. Okay. You really want to use a combat trick to... Okay. I am more than happy with that. I mean, obviously, they still get to eat my thing. Okay, well... I was like, well, they need to play another 2-drop here to have this actually be good. But they did. Let's go ahead and get a Plains here. Then we'll pass. This Get a Leg Up is not that exciting. Karlov Watchdog, jeez. Okay, so we're gonna get to eat a Perimeter Enforcer. But we're gonna take a lot of damage in the process. Reach. And we're at 9 in case of the Gateway Express also flips. Whew. Okay, Buried in the Garden is nice. Okay. That gives us some mana. I can also Bite Down on Crime. I can also cast Bite Down on Crime. Buried in the Garden I think I like more, because if I do that, and then I trade with Nervous Gardener, then next turn I have access to 5 mana, and I can cast Face Down Crowd Control Warden and still cast Bite Down on Crime. Let's go ahead and kill the Watchdog. Certainly not attacking. And, I mean, we're still on the back foot. We're still on the back foot here. Them cracking a clue, okay. Most likely thing that's going to happen is they play a creature. We trade with the Red Herring. We go to 7. And then we go crowd. Or they shock my creature, hit me for 5, and play a 2-drop. That's my prediction now. I'm just thinking worst case scenario here. Oh, wow. Wow, it didn't happen. Okay. All right, we are at 4 life. 3, 4, 5, 6. Do we play Crowd Control Warden face up and just cross our fingers? Or do we need to play a creature and cast Bite Down on Crime and then just try to trade everything? Those are the options. All right, let's... I don't like this. I think this is the safer route. I don't like it, but gotta do what you gotta do. And I'm going to kill the Novice Inspector here because the Red Herring has to attack. So hopefully my Watchdog can just get in the way. And then we can try to maybe stabilize with this Crowd Control Warden. All right, what you got? Face down card. Is it bigger than my Crowd Control Warden? Probably. So I'm going to play the Dogwalker here instead. Block, flip it up, and then Crowd Control Warden gets a lot bigger. If this is a Dogwalker, I'm just going to be so sad. Come on. All right, you got me. What a draw. All right, so we got super curved out twice. Although getting super curved out by blue-black, I mean, we stumbled a little bit in that one. But it's our turn to turn things around and also have a quick draw. I mean, we were playing spells every turn, but it is definitely difficult if you play against a good Boros deck and they're on the play and they kind of have things to play every single turn. That case, again, that case of the Gateway Express, so nice. Okay, so now we need to win 2 more to hit diamond. This hand, oof. No white sources, and our first play is a turn 3 play on the draw. Can't keep this. I think it's maybe keepable on the play, but... So the last hand had 3 forests, and now this one has 3 plains. I'm going to keep. I just don't know what I want to put on the bottom. I wonder if it's plains. No. Is it tipster? Bite? Yeah, maybe it's bite. Okay. Should have bought him plains. Wow. Oh, geez. I wonder if they're mono green. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, and it's a hard-hitting question? Oh, man. And then, please, play another Flourishing Bloomkin. Darn. They got me excited. I mean, this thing's beating me down. They might actually be mono green. Wow. I would really like my bite down on crime back. Okay. I mean, this thing is just gigantic. Okay, so we have a killer among us that we can play next turn. This is not a situation where Case of the Trampled Garden does us anything. I'm just going to play Killer Among Us. Wonder what this face down card is. So they didn't draw a land. I wonder if we just like block with a million things or just chump with 1. Let's just keep our life total a little bit healthy. Okay, Fanatical Strength. Fanatical Strength. Should have played around it, I guess. Oh, man. What a way to go out. What a way to go out. I mean, I thought this deck was pretty solid, but sometimes you get run over. That is just the nature of the game. You can never really anticipate or expect to go 7 wins in any given matchup, and I feel like in the 3 losses, we just got clowned, right? We just got completely beat down. This card, I'm still not 100% on. It's one of those like great on the play, mediocre on the draw type cards. Felt like we were aggressive enough, but there were definitely matchups where we played against Boros decks, and we just, couldn't really utilize this the way that we wanted to. Trostani was excellent, of course, and everything else about this deck was really solid. We had a good amount of interaction, 4 removal spells, 1 go wide pump spell, get a leg up, Case of the Trampled Garden to push damage through, and then of course Trostani, and several ways to go wide in Dogwalker, Inside Source, and a Killer Among Us. So, hey, we finished 4-3, a little bit better than 500. Thought actually this was probably at least the 5-win deck, but, sometimes we have decks that perform better than expected, and sometimes we have decks that do a little bit worse than expected. That is kind of the nature of Magic, but it's okay. Still on our climb here. Gonna be escaping Platinum. Hopefully we can get to Diamond by the time you see the next video, because of course I'm still gonna be playing a lot of matches of draft while I try to claim to rank 1. Before I sign off, I do want to say that I did launch my Patreon channel. So if you wanted to support the channel in other ways, you can check out the link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. Really do appreciate it. Feel free to hit the like and subscribe button for more daily videos just like this. I'll catch you tomorrow.